Good afternoon. I'm Lewis Moore, president of Friends of Garland's Historic Magic 11th Street, producers of this very special, locally written musical, Becoming Garland Avenue 2020 Revival. Please know how diligently we tried to bring you this award-winning musical on the live stage at Garland's Plaza Theater, like we did in our premiere sold-out performance on April 13th, 2019. Garland's Cultural Arts Commission awarded us another grant to help us produce the play for 2020. The Plaza Theater was rented, and tickets were on sale for April 18th and 19th, 2020. We were planning on April 18th to celebrate Garland's 129th birthday, the anniversary of her founding in 1891. We even had arranged for beautiful horse-drawn white carriages to grace our downtown area and take patrons on rides to see our burgeoning, redeveloping downtown Garland and visit our local restaurants. The 2020 script was revised with 2 new songs and 6 new characters. The cast and crew, as well as volunteers and members of a Magic 11th Street board, were energized and eager to gift Garland and friends of our city with another stellar but expanded version of this beautiful and homegrown musical when, suddenly, 3 weeks before showtime, the COVID-19 pandemic hit Dallas County and began to work its way into our city of Garland, forcing us to reschedule until this weekend, November 14th and 15th. Back in March, who could have dreamed that the pandemic would drag on and on like this and threaten our plans for November 2020? But indeed, it has. With the health, safety, and well-being of our more than 70 actors, volunteers, and crew, as well as our audience at stake, we opted, because of the uncertainty, to go virtual, like so many other local, state, and national arts organizations have had to do this year. Fortunately, we had a never-before-seen video of our 2019 performance that provides the skeleton for this virtual performance. Even then, to accommodate the new characters and the new songs in this year's show, we had to rewrite the script for scenes 3 and 5 to safe distance characters, rehearse out of doors, wear masks at all times except for characters in actual video shoots such as I am right now, and sweat bullets when at the last moment one important character announced a possible COVID-19 exposure, which fortunately turned out to be a false alarm. Despite all that, our Becoming Garland Avenue family, as we call everyone involved, never lost its enthusiasm and can-do spirit. Even an outdoor rehearsal in 104-degree weather couldn't dampen the esprit de corps of the faithful. Like the national PBS specials for Memorial Day and the 4th of July, what you're about to see is a compilation of pre-pandemic recordings and new special video productions blended together. Remember, this is community theater where love of Garland was primary, and some bloopers occurred that could not be corrected amid the current circumstances. The use of previous and new also created certain challenges, such as the modern characters wearing 2019 t-shirts, when in fact we had already ordered 2020 ones to be used. So if you see something a little quirky in the performance today, you can merely say, oh, that's just because of the pandemic, because you'll be right if you say that. Special thanks go to the leaders of Garland's Granville Arts Center for their patience in helping us work through so many changes to the Board of Directors of Friends of Garland's Historic Magic 11th Street nonprofit for their flexibility and dedication to the cause, and to the many volunteers who had to adjust to an array of unexpected changes along the way. The first performance in 2019 was dedicated to the memory of Bill Holmes, who worked tirelessly for historic preservation and fine arts in our Garland community. This year's performance is dedicated to the Honorable Annie Dixon, Garland's first female Black City Council member and the first person of color to ever run for mayor of Garland. Her dedication and work on behalf of civil rights and historic preservation, two of the goals of Friends of Garland's Historic Magic 11th Street, are awe-inspiring. She did so much to change our community. Instead of being presented at the live musical at the Plaza Theater as we had planned, Annie's recognition took on a pandemic flavoring. We planned for a special plaque to be unveiled on stage here at the Plaza Theater, and then to be located in the heart of the Travis College Hill National Register Historic District. The plaque was funded by a grant from the Garland Housing Finance Corporation, and it arrived just days before the pandemic shut everything down. So after that, the decision was made to move the musical to virtual, and we made another decision to move the ceremony for the plaque to live, but with a limited pandemic-restricted audience of 10 persons, including Garland Mayor Scott LeMay and Texas legislator Retta Andrews Bowers on a steaming hot morning in early August. We invite you to come and visit the Travis College Hill National Register Historic District and see what it's all about. It's a very beautiful place to come, and we hope you'll come and bring your camera. It's a great place to take pictures. And you'll see the special tribute to Annie as well as tributes to other people who've been involved in our community. Now, by the way, the pandemic did not dampen some good news that happened along the way. Becoming Garland Avenue was the winner of a national award and received national recognition. For helping spawn this outstanding musical, the neighborhood around Garland's 11th Street was named Neighborhoods USA's Neighborhood of the Year because of the creativity it showed in pulling together the original musical that you will see here today. Now, because this is a free virtual performance, we encourage you to consider making a special contribution to Friends of Garland's Historic Magic 11th Street to help us offset the costs of this special presentation. How to do this can be found on our Facebook page, Magic 11th Street. You can also go to both our Facebook pages, Magic 11th Street and Becoming Garland Avenue 2020, to find more information on the performers and other information about the show that you are about to watch. Also, join us online afterwards for a special silent auction of items donated by Garland merchants being conducted virtually from the home of Friends board members Chris and Kenya Ott. And do watch the show all the way to the end. Don't turn your sets off. Don't turn your TV off or your computer off, even after the curtain falls, because you're in for a big surprise. I promise you, you're going to like what you see at the very end. So now, ladies and gents, now is the show you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for. Becoming Garland Avenue 2020 Revival.
Thanks, Willie. Here you go.
Thank you, Mrs. Crossman. I'll get your announcement in the paper for you
Okay.
right away.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Here's something new for your column, Father. The biggest social event in town. Mrs. Crossman is hosting the Women's Study Club at her home.
Well, thank you, dear daughter. You do such a great job with Garland Society women. You treat them with such courtesy.
That's nice of you to say, Father.
You'll be graduating from Garland School soon. I want you to come to work for me right now at the Garland paper. I'll make you assistant editor.
I don't know. I've been in Garland all my life. And I've been hanging at the newspaper office at your heels since I was a kid. There's a big world out there. What if I want to spread my wings and venture out? What if some special guy comes along and whisks me away?
But Willie K., you're such a natural at what you do. And I have paved the way for you in the Garland newspaper business. And besides, you have great heritage here in Garland. Your great-grandfather, Shalon Elkin Scott, was an early pioneer. You have a bright future. But if some young swain came along, I'll take care of that when it happens. But the future of Garland is bright too. It wasn't too many years ago, we were just two warring communities. The people of Embry, the people of Duck Creek, well, they hardly ever spoke to each other, even though their towns were side by side. But all that's changed now. In 1890, Garland was incorporated into a city, and it brought these two communities together. Well, now we have two railroads, and there's talk of an interurban electric rail car coming through our city, taking our citizens all the way from Dallas to Greenville.
Maybe, but Garland is such a sleepy little bird, and maybe always will be. I want more from this life. I want to feel like I really make a difference. I don't think Garland's that kind of place for me.
That's the way I was when I was young. But now my greatest joy is staying right here in my hometown and making it good for all. Oh, I agree. Something needs to happen to give Garland a spark. I write my editorials, and I try to be a cheerleader, but so far I haven't been able to figure out what we need. What we need is a burst of energy, a new philosophy in the apathy. What we need is a greater choice. That is what we need.
Mr. Hoffman, my other meeting Thursday evening. Please be there and bring your notepad.
Certainly, Mayor White. You've heard me talking with Willie K. You agree with me, don't you?
Positively. And I've got a couple of ideas of my own, too. What we need are ample houses here, places to live, it's clear, growth from year to year. What we need is to simply persevere. That is what we need.
What I need is a super crystal ball. How life for me will fall.
Excellent choice, sir. A superb fabric that will perform well for the life of the garment. Oh, did you notice our sale? 2 shirts for $1.50. Why not pick up another one?
I'll take this one.
Good decision, sir. Here is your change. And please, we have many items on sale today. Continue to look around the store.
Oh, well, thank you.
Busy day, I see.
From the moment the store opened.
You'll be even busier soon.
How's that?
There's an electric rail car coming, bringing travelers to the city of Dallas all the way as far as Greenville, and to the cities in between here and there.
Small towns. Will there be enough riders?
That depends on the towns along the way. We hope to see ridership of 25% in each town. New developments will certainly help out.
We?
J.W. Cruddy, Vice President of the Eastern Texas Traction Company. We're the ones putting in the line.
Oh, how do you do? Doing some shopping at Singer Brothers.
Yes, I need a couple of neckties. I want to look my best for when I visit the Garland officials in a few days.
Garland?
One of the largest cities on the new interurban line, an area ripe for development.
What's in it for these people?
Country folk moving in from their farms, schooling for their kids, need houses. Plus, the electric rail car can provide them with some much-needed electricity. People will be so happy to shed their lanterns to get some real reliable power. It's a win-win, my man. Tracks, travelers, sparks, power. Tracks, travelers, sparks, power. That's what I hope to sell them on anyway.
Gentlemen, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation, and I too would like to get in on this Garland thing. And I think I may know what he's trying to say. Tracks and travelers, bring them on. Sleepy days will soon be gone. Prosperity is in the air. Money to be made out there. Clients will be pouring in. Let the super deals begin. Cities bursting at the seams. Fulfillment of a young man's dream. Tracks and travelers, sparks and power. Grab the moment, seize the hour. Times are changing, think it through. What can all this mean for you?
Yes, what could all this mean for you?
Mean to me.
Tell me, young man, you don't want to spend your whole life selling shirts and neckties, right?
How do I get to Garland?
I believe there's an old settler named Wyatt who may have some land right along to where the tracks will go.
Tracks and travelers, where will it end? All the best to you, my friend. All the best to you, my friend.
What could all this mean to me? Thank you for the information, Mr. Crotty. I may have to pay Garland a little visit.
Well, that finishes it up, Mr. Travis. You and your interurban land company now have 33 1/3 of some of the finest acres in Texas. My son, this originally was part of Peter's colony in the Republic of Texas. It belonged to one of James Blue's heirs when I bought it some years back. Goes from Ushaw here to just past the MK&T tracks and right on the interurban line with a stop right down the street. It'll be the first new addition in Garland since the two townships merged. It'll give people a new identity. When people buy their lots, then you can quickly pay back your loan to the People's Trust Bank.
I'd like to have a broad, wide street, right here. A street lined with trees. Deep lots where they can have their chickens and other livestock and vegetable gardens.
Great plan. And since my wife's addition runs parallel to yours, I'll be right there to help if I need it. Oh, Mr. Crossman. Mr. Crossman, meet Mr. R.O. Travis from down Dallas way. Mr. Travis, the folks in your new addition will need Mr. Crossman's insurance agency when they build their homes. He insures this entire town.
Well, Mr. Crossman, you may be just the man I'm looking for. Since you're in insurance, you must know a lot about this town and its people. I'm a city man myself. Perhaps you can help me relate to these country folk when I tell them tomorrow about the land I have for sale. My grandfather was a judge in Tennessee. My ancestor was a naval commander under Queen Elizabeth. I'm not sure I can identify with the people in this small town.
Splendid, sir. I salute your ties to the old country. My own grandfather was a British ambassador, and I was born in the British Embassy in Chile. My mother danced with the Prince of Wales, who became King Edward of England.
Tennessee, you say? Isn't that where you got that fancy college education?
No, actually it was in Indiana, Valparaiso.
You see, Mr. Crossman was the first man to come to Garland with a college degree.
A learned man, I see, with a successful business. Looks like life has always treated you just fine, Mr. Crossman.
No. Actually, if you could see a little plot out in our Garland cemetery, you would not think so. My sweetheart, my Nellie, only 16. She died the same year my business burned to the ground. My wife, my livelihood, just months apart.
Oh, my deepest condolences.
Yes, well, thank you. But life turned around. Mrs. Crossman and I remarried, you know, have 3 strapping sons. I rebuilt my business. Life is indeed good here in Garland, Texas. This is a great place to make a new start, as long as you have pure motives, of course. You ask what kind of folk Garland people are. How can I best describe them? Just good people. Just good people, so faithful to the core. Just good people, now who could ask for more? They're honest as the day is long, their words, their bond, I say. Just good people all the way. Just good people, so loyal and so true. Stick around a little while, they'll take a shine to you. But if we have a skinflint who's intent on causing woe, we'll march him to the county line, and far from us he'll go. Just good people, the salt of the earth. Just good people, they're folks of boundless worth. They'll take you in and cherish you, but don't lead them astray. just good people all the way. Just good people. Mr. Travis, welcome to our area. I'm glad to help you in any way that I can.
It's a good man. If this is your broad, wide street, I'm particularly struck by this location on that street. Whoever lives here will be the most fortunate of men. What do you think you'll call your new addition?
This area, I've done my research, is the highest point in Garland. I'm from Tennessee originally, and I miss my hills. And since the old Garland College is right next door, we'll name it after the college. The College Hill Edition.
Now, why didn't I think of that? It does have a nice ring to it, but I have one suggestion.
What's that?
Your name, of course. You're doing all the work. Travis College Hill, it should be.
Travis College Hill? Travis College Hill. Catchy. Very catchy name indeed. Good folks of Garland, Texas. The name's Travis. R.O. Travis from Dallas way. I've been visiting your fine city for the past few days, staying at the Garland Hotel. I hope you know your town has a few challenges facing it. I'm here to help you fix them. Wonderful folks, hearts of gold. But if you don't act now, you will miss the opportunity of a lifetime. You see, the shiny new interurban will soon be coming through. And you aren't ready. No, you're not ready at all. When I heard about this all the way in downtown Dallas, I had to come see for myself. You see, I know the temptations of big city life. People, for example, from Dallas, who want their little Johnny to go to good schools, but don't want to be around the crime young folks fall prey to. They'd come to Little Garland in a heartbeat, but they'd no place to live, no homes for them. As nice as your hotel is to stay temporarily, they wouldn't want to board there indefinitely. When I learned this about Garland, I arranged to buy 33 acres from your good settler and flour mill owner, Richard C. Wyatt. Mr. Dick Wyatt and I just concluded the deal. On Saturday, January 4th, the Interurban Land Company sales office will be open at 10 a.m. for business and candy store. Garland's churches are just a block away. Let me try that again. These lots extend all the way from Ushaw Avenue to just past the MK&T tracks. Little Johnny can be near his schools just a few blocks away. Now you can live. Oh my gosh. These lots extend all the way from Ushaw Avenue to just past the MK&T tracks. Little Johnny can be near his school just a few blocks away. Have you been traveling in from the country just so your child can have a good education? Well, now you can live in my new subdivision called the Travis College Hill Edition. Lots are extra deep, so you have room for your dairy cow and other livestock and your kitchen garden. Garland's churches are just a block away, as is our schoolhouse. Do your trading on the square and be just blocks from home. The new interurban that's being built will make it easy to ride to Dallas City, catch it just down Mushaw. It'll be one of the first subdivisions in the new city of Garland, birthed just 20 years ago, after Embry and Duck Creek came together and stopped their feuding. Unity, so important. Easy terms. These town lots start at $275 and will never be cheaper. Get them now before the people of Dallas get wind of this, and it'll be too late for the good people of Garland.
Well, what about us?
Yes, the people from the flats. Will there be a place for our kind in your Travis College Hill?
As long as the money is on the table, no one's excluded.
Sally, what do you think of this, Mr. Travis?
Well, I know this. He sure seems smart. In fact, I don't think I've been around a smarter man since my sainted husband and your dear brother-in-law, Mr. W.T. Beaver, passed from this life.
You know, some people don't seem to be listening.
Better listen up, friends, better listen up. Hear what Mr. Travis says, examine it closer. If we want some progress for a little town, better be at Gandy's. I'll be there.
Thank you, Mrs. Beaver.
And put your money down. I could call dear sister. We would let us friends. He could walk to work each day.
It won't hurt me a bit.
We'll be no less. He'll be stronger less. With a hundred years, a higher
It's gonna be just fine when you see it this way. We'll sure see lights of pine.
I don't know about this. You are for me. Should I buy a lot without a guarantee?
Think about the future, put the past aside. We are now a strong town, proud and unified.
Better listen up, friends, take courage and take heart in this march to progress. You can have a part.
Oh, it's you from that
other church.
Miss Darling.
Oh, good day, sir, ma'am. I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
No apology needed. I'm Reverend Hunt from the Baptist Church down the street. My wife, Mrs. Hunt.
Oh, pleased to meet you, Reverend Hunt, and the missus. Travis is the name. I'm from Dallas.
I know all about you, Mr. Travis. Here to sell us some property and help our community. Well, what about you? Will you be making your home here as well? You'd be most welcome in our fellowship at our Baptist church down the street. You look like you'd make an excellent Baptist.
I don't, but I'd be happy to have you buy on the street.
We have our parsonage. My wife and I are kindly provided for. But if I could choose a lot, it would be this one right here on a little rise, a lovely view.
The best.
I really wish to commend you, Brother Travis. I heard you just now when you were talking to the people downtown. You put the focus on unity, a unified Garland. I wish we had that in our churches. Our church is so divided right now, so much heartache.
Well, what's the issue?
2 Baptist churches, practically side by side. First Baptist and ours, Antioch Baptist. Our people walk down the same sidewalk to get to worship, but they barely speak. The other pastor's wife, Miss Darling, she snubbed me just now. It's an awful rift, some organizational matter. Honestly, I'm not too sure many people remember what went wrong some years back that caused the split. It's disheartening, so sad. If we could just find a common ground and become a house united. Tell me, Mr. Travis, I heard you in our downtown. You are a persuasive man. You seem to know how to try to convince people. What would you suggest that we could do to help bring these bodies back together?
Well, could they consider the economic benefits? Money always talks. 2 congregations isn't that expensive. Offerings. Doesn't it cost more to pay 2 preachers' salaries, 2 parsonages? The proceeds could be doubled when you pass the plate.
True. Those are considerations, but it's more than money. It's our purpose, our mission. It's so disjointed. Neighbor against neighbor, sometimes husband against wife. It's matters of the heart.
Matters of the heart.
Well, we've troubled you enough, Mr. Travis. Good luck on your land sale. Aren't we glad there is always hope? Nice to meet you, Brother Travis. God bless you.
Good day, sir. Ma'am. Matters of the heart. Yes, the preacher. You know, Sophie, I was pondering. When I first started this little venture, after I talked to Mr. Crotty and bought the land from Wyatt, I was all in it for the money. Coins jingling in my pocket. That was all. But now that I've gotten to know some of these Garland people, well, I've been thinking, how would you like to make Garland our home, too?
What? Make this our home? We live in Dallas. I'm from Bahia. Don't you like this place? It's too flat. What are you thinking, Robert?
It isn't Tennessee, here on the wine prairie, a place for you and me. Can you see it?
Can I see it? It's not my home, sweet home, nor places I have known.
But if we're not alone, can you see it?
Trying to see it.
Dear, we can be a part of something near my heart. Building a life, let's start. Trying to see it.
Trying to see it.
A chance to make a mark and help a village grow. Bring progress to a place that has been slow. And all the while a family thrives and so. Can you see it?
Right on this pretty spot. A big front porch, now I'd like that a lot. A church, a school, a yard with flowers, but most of all, a place that's ours.
Can you see it?
I can see it.
We can see it.
Esther, can you imagine a little white cottage there? A place for little Willie to play? We'd be just down the street from Mother and my brothers. Close, but not too close. Oh, hello, Mother. Has it been a good week?
What's a mother to say, but yeah.
WC, dear, I've been thinking, perhaps we should go back to New Orleans, where little Willie was born.
But my pet, Orleans is so big and wicked and away from family. Mother is here to help. And my brothers say they're buying lots on Garland Avenue as well.
We've been getting along fine in the room at your mother's house, and it would cost our savings to buy this $275 lot and build. Frankly, I'm a little worried.
But Esther, I hope for more children. We're going to run out of room at Mother's soon. This is a great investment. That's what R.O. Travis says. And he says that, oh my goodness, there's Mr. Travis and his wife now. They're looking at a lot on the block. Mr. Travis, are you going to live on this street as well?
Of course, and please call me R.O.
You see, Esther, great neighbors.
This isn't Bourbon Street.
So fun of folks to meet.
Makes my heart skip a beat.
Scared to see it.
I can't see it.
Let's join in something new. No finer things to do. Good times for our boy too. For you see it.
I can't see it.
Others will join us here. Just think with
see it? I've surely bought your dreams, not crazy as it seems. Can't think of finer schemes. I can see it.
I can see it.
A chance to make a mark and help our village grow, bringing progress to a place that has been slow, and all the while our families thrive and so. Can you see it?
A heart of hope right on this pretty spot. A big front porch, now I'd like that a lot. A church, a school, a yard with flowers, but most of all a place that's us.
Can you see it?
We can see it.
Mr. Travis, Mr. Travis, look what they're saying about you.
Travis's folly?
Land purchases in town's western fringes makes no sense.
Don't fall for it, good citizens.
Let's make our own flyers. We can hand them out ourselves. Mommy, Daddy, look at this too.
Let's go see Mr. Halford, the newspaper editor. He can tell us what to do.
Mr. Travis brought this flyer by. They're all over town. Some people don't think this land development is a very good idea. But you know, I disagree. Bringing people to this area is essential to Garland's progress. I think this is our golden opportunity, but Mr. Travis has now asked me to write a big ad to try to negate the critics. So far, I haven't been able to figure out what to say to do the trick.
Let me think. You know what you and Mother always told me? Be wise, make wise decisions. Sometimes that piece of advice would lead me away from people that would lead me astray.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay. How about this, Willie K? Have you been wise? Have you shown wisdom and foresight by buying a lot in Travis Collegeville addition to Garland? If not, why not? Town lots will never be cheaper in Garland than they are today. With the increase in population, land values will also increase. Will the population of Garland increase? Yeah. Property values will double within the next 12 months.
That's brilliant, Father. Don't persuade them. You really will.
Thank you, Willie K. You've been my willing assistant once again.
I love you, Father.
Willie K., That clears ink. It does run in your veins.
"15 minutes left, Mr. Travis. Right now, not a soul outside."
After all the effort, has it all been for naught? Do they still call it Travis's Folly?
I've done all I can. I can't imagine using any more ink in this project than I have.
We know you've done your best, Mr. Halford. We all have. Talked it up a storm. The question is, has it all been for naught?
It involves thinking creatively and not the same old way.
You know, if people let this opportunity pass, 100 years from now, what are their great-grandchildren going to say about us? They're going to say, we didn't.
Think beyond the box. Color outside the lines. Think beyond the box. Color outside the lines.
That's right. We didn't. We didn't think outside the box. They're going to say, Garland, it's a pity you did not think outside the box in 1913.
Funny little expression, think beyond the box, and true at that.
Think beyond the box, Garland, and color outside the lines. With so many ho-hum towns, be the one that shines.
Think a little differently, you can stretch and grow. Just ignore the skeptics, cause you're so in the know.
It'll be good for you, Garland, march to a different beat. Take a little risk, Garland, you may find it sweet.
Think beyond the box, Garland, we hasten to repeat.
Take yourself a little risk, you may find it sweet. What happens out, Garland? What transpires this day? We've all done our best now. What happens, just can't say.
Bear gets first choice, Bear gets first choice. Bear gets first
It was your ad that did it, Halford. I didn't want to be foolish. I wanted to be wise. And you were right. Dallas was about to discover our little town. And we, by all rights, should have first claim on Garland.
a town unified.
Look at this, Travis. You can pay your loan off down at the People's Bank in a hurry now.
What we need is a burst of energy, a new philosophy, in the apathy.
Father, you did it. You changed the tide.
No, dear daughter, we did it. You made a difference. You gave me the worst of news.
So I did. I think I'll stick around after high school after all, if you'll have me at the newspaper.
Dear, there will always be a place for you at the newspaper and in Garland. I want Garland to be the best place imaginable for you and your little sister. Mr. Travis, tell me, what are you going to name that beautiful wide street that soon will be filled with lovely homes?
I think I'd like to call it Garland Avenue, for this wonderful town and its wonderful people. A street this wide, this grand, this commanding. It should have no other name. Garland Avenue, Garland Avenue. Let's live on Garland Avenue. Garland Avenue. Fringes for Garland Avenue. Garland Avenue. My home's on Garland Avenue. Garland Avenue. Garland Avenue. Near town on Garland Avenue.
Garland Avenue, Garland Avenue, yes, yes, on Garland Avenue. Garland Avenue, I'm sold on Garland
Garland Avenue, lights bright on Garland Avenue. Garland Avenue, Garland Avenue, bright hopes on Garland Avenue. Yes, sir, Garland was a sleepy little bird back in 1913. But 106 years later, it's one of the largest, nice big town. It's the second largest in Dallas County and one of the largest in the Metroplex.
Planned interurban rail car that was to bring much progress to Garland never materialized. The advent of the automobile made mass transit less appealing. Growing tensions in the country that produced World War I and bankruptcy nixed the idea before it could get off the ground. However, the subdivision that sprang up, in part to provide riders for the interurban line drive. Almost all of Travis's lots sold off within the first 43 minutes of trading on that day, January 4th, 1913, and it's been a popular place to live ever since. In its history, the area has been home to 6 mayors, as well as numerous council members, a county commissioner, school board members, and religious and civic leaders in Garland. The street remained Garland Avenue for almost 2 decades when it was changed to 11th Street. And Garland Avenue became the name for a road that now runs from George Bush Tollway to Gaston Avenue in Dallas. The renamed 11th Street has been the subject of a 5-time award-winning documentary telling the story of a neighborhood that has endured the test of time.
Hi, I'm Ella Crossman. My husband, G.W., started the first insurance agency here in Garland. It lasted almost 100 years. Our son, Curtis Sr., took over, and then finally our grandson. The Crossman block made up the eastern side of the square and left a lasting legacy to the citizens of Garland.
AJ and Ella Beaver went on to enjoy a long tenure at 301 South Garland Avenue, as did their widowed sister-in-law Sally at 313.
And Sally, when they both passed away, the houses and properties then passed to their children, with the A.J. Beaver home staying in the family for the next 73 years.
taking business courses and being elevated to assistant editor at the Garland News. Willie K. married Fred Holmes, the typesetter for the paper. Now this happened right around the time Will sold the paper. But Willie K. is still remembered today. Willie K. started the Willie K. Holmes Preschool Mothers Club that works with young infants. Will was editor of the paper 1904 to 1914, and then again 1918 to 1931, and he passed away in 1941.
Although the lengthy career of the newspaper didn't become her place, purchasing definitely ran through her bloodstream and on to the next generation. Her daughter, Sue Holmes Watkins, became a much-respected and long-tenured columnist for the Garland Daily News, and then after that, the Dallas Morning News Neighbors Go section. This play is dedicated to Bill Holmes, son of Willie and Fred, who helped 11th Street with the historical research and who passed away last year.
Sadly, never got to build that love nest on Lot 7, Block A, on 11th Street. Esther lived only 2 more years after they purchased their tract. After her passing, Will took their son, and along with his entire family moved to Denver, Colorado, where he lived the remainder of his days and never remarried. Perhaps because it is so tough to let go of a dream, he continued to own the property unimproved until 20 years later, until most of the rest of the area developed. Garland must always have remained in the hearts of Will and his family, because almost all of them returned to the family plot in Garland Memorial Park to be buried alongside Garlandites who lived here all their lives.
Likewise, Robert and Sophie Travis never saw their dreams come true on the lot that became 416 South 11th Street. 3 years later, R.O. Travis, the entrepreneurial developer of Travis College Hill, died of pneumonia. He and Sophie, who never remarried, were buried in her hometown of Mahia.
However, the very property that R.O. and Sophie Travis envisioned as their home place is the exact spot that Reverend J.M. Hunt returned to in 1938 when he retired from preaching all over Texas and came back to Garland to spend his retirement years. A lovely white cottage that was built on this lot became the home of James McCabe Hunt and his wife Emma. The badly divided Baptist church that existed when he was pastor here in 1913 reunited and became First Baptist Church of Garland, which just celebrated its 150th anniversary.
R.O. Travis's new development reflected a perspective that would not appear in Garland until the 1960s. Unlike some other developments in that era, Travis did not restrict Travis College Hill properties to whites only. Today, Garland's African American population is 13% and is spread throughout the whole city, unlike in 1913, when the blacks lived largely in the segregated flats, a freestanding community with its own homes and businesses, and sits in an area where Garland City Hall and surrounding buildings sits today.
It would be 15 more years before Garland's first family of Hispanic origin, the Valles, arrived on the scene in our town in 1928. But today, the Latino population in Garland is more than 94,000, representing every Spanish-speaking country in the world.
Although the Travises never lived in Garland, as was their dream, the 2-block area of Travis College Hill with South 11th Street as its heart remained a much respected place for home ownership. In 2017, the Travis College Hill Historic District became Garland's first ever entry onto the National Register of Historic Places. When the National Register plaque went up, the Travis's great-grandson, Robert Vaughn, was in Garland on 11th Street for the unveiling. Garland Avenue, Garland Avenue. Buy homes on Garland Avenue, Garland Avenue, Garland Avenue. Near town on Garland Avenue.